Whiteman. The candidates, platform party, faculty, and guests are at their places and wait your pleasure.
If the audience will please remain silent while Reverend Gary McCaslin offers the invocation, and then after that, the national anthem. Reverend McCaslin.
I'm standing before you today for your chaplain, campus chaplain, Reverend Cynthia Hale. Cindy's recovering from an infection she contracted from a tick anaplasmosis. And if you would like further information, please see a member of the graduating nursing class. As we begin, let us observe a moment of silence to remember the indigenous peoples who inhabited the very land upon which we gather today. These Native Americans of the Seneca Nations were here thousands of years before the land was taken from them by the powers from across the Atlantic. Let us be still now and remember. Loving Creator of all that we know and love, Spirit of life and wonder present in each person here today, we come together this morning with hearts full of gratitude, thankful for the gift of this day, thankful for the gift of life we share on this beautiful planet. In a universe overwhelmingly inhospitable to life, we are alive to dance and sing and celebrate the moments in our lives when a journey, which for many here today began years ago and has now come to an end. A goal has been reached, and a new journey with challenges lies ahead. The hard work, the late nights, the deadlines are now all history as new challenges loom on the horizon. As we celebrate these graduates for their work and commitment, we also celebrate a faculty who shared their wisdom and passion of their fields, the support staff who daily endeavor to keep this beautiful campus a joy to enjoy, and the administration working to provide a healthy academic environment now and into the future. Hear these names. Bless these graduates. Surround each person with a sustaining love for each new day. In the name of life and love, we offer this prayer of joyful thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Want to be just here? Okay.
This convocation will have order.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning. I'm Nancy Whiteman, the Chair of the Regional Board of Trustees of SUNY Corning Community College. I'd like to welcome the candidates, their families and friends, the faculty, staff, and our community friends to the 62nd commencement ceremony of SUNY Corning Community College. We're proud to formally acknowledge the academic accomplishments of the candidates. Since its founding, the college has served more than 90,000 individuals in its educational programs. May I now present the members of the platform party. You just met Marie Hannan Mendel, Associate Professor in the Humanities and Social Sciences Division and Chairperson of the Faculty Assembly. Reverend Gary McCaslin, Fred Herbst, Interim Provost, Dr. William Mullaney, President of SUNY Corning Community College, Professor Ruth Wenner, Professor of Chemistry and the Mace Bearer, and Mr. Charlie Craig, who is one of our honorees today. At this time, SUNY Corning Community College's president, Dr. William Mullaney, will offer opening remarks.
Thank you, Chair Whiteman. First, let me begin by saying how impressed I am with your achievement today. I've always said that I'm continually amazed at how complicated the lives of community college students are, balancing school, work, family, and other obligations. Toss in a public health crisis, the likes of which we've never seen before, and the fact that you are all sitting before me today makes your achievement that much more amazing. I know how much some of you struggled pivoting to a largely online education. You, like many of our faculty and staff, had to get up to speed very quickly. And for many of you, that online environment isn't your preferred way to learn, but you persevered. I know that many of you either lost your jobs or lost your hours or are faced with tough financial challenges, but you persevered. I know that many of you battled depression, anxiety, and loneliness during the isolating conditions of the pandemic, but you persevered. Earning a college degree or certificate under the best of conditions is no small feat. Doing so in 2021 is nothing short of tremendous. It is also a testament to your dedication, resilience, and grit. Angela Duckworth, a social scientist who has studied grit, defines it as a combination of passion and perseverance for a singularly important goal. And her research shows that grit, more than talent, is the hallmark of high achievers in every field. You are the gritty graduates of 2021, and the grit you have demonstrated this year will take you far. 30, 40, or 50 years from now, when one of your grandkids or great-grandkids is doing a report on the COVID-19 pandemic, and I assure you they will ask, he or she will ask you for an interview. What do you think you will say? Of course, you will need to talk about all the people who died or nearly died, the beating that the economy took, the lockdowns, the quarantines, the masks, the testing, the Zoom fatigue, the vaccines. But today, I am wondering and maybe even challenging you to see if you can remember some of the positive things, big and small, that happened during the past 14 months. Dare I call them the gifts of COVID? As a former teacher, they always tell you to model the assignment for your students, so I'm going to do that. My gifts of COVID-19 include doing puzzles and art projects with my wife and kids, including a portrait of Frida Kahlo that I'm pretty darn proud of. Rediscovering my joy of cooking. Hiking the beautiful trails in Corning to lift my mood. Working with colleagues here at the college and the community to set up a food pantry on campus. Working with the state to open up a mass vaccination site here at CCC, which has provided over 25,000 vaccines. Recommitting to my health, which included losing weight and getting my cholesterol and high blood pressure under control for the first time in 10 years. falling in love with the contestants on the British Baking Show on Netflix, a show you really need to watch if you're not watching it yet. Exchanging TikToks with my wife and kids and other friends and family that make us laugh, cry, and think. And the list could go on. What's on your list? Of course, at the top of your list should be earning a degree or certificate from Corning Community College. But I would encourage you to write some of those other gifts down and place that list inside your diploma for that inevitable interview with your grandchild. My other message for you today is to appreciate those around you, including those people who are in the car with you today. Can you even begin to count the number of hugs and handshakes that you've missed over the past year? Have you started to try and catch up on those? I mention this because I'm sure you are the first to admit that your achievement today was due largely to the help and support of others, perhaps some who are no longer with us. Please take time to thank them in some way for their role in your success. In that spirit, and because graduation is a family affair, I'd like to acknowledge the loved ones who are here today supporting their graduates. And this is the interactive part of the ceremony. If you are mom or dad of a graduate, please honk your horn. Thank you. If you are a husband, wife, partner, or significant other of a graduate, please honk your horn. If you are a child of a graduate, please honk your horn. If there are any brothers, sisters of graduates, please honk your horns. Lots of brothers and sisters today, that's great. If you're the aunt, uncle, or cousin of a graduate, please honk your horn. And finally, if you are a grandparent or grandchild of a graduate, if any of those, please honk your horn. Thank you for all joining us today. Congratulations again to the gritty graduates of 2021. Keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep working hard. Best of luck as you leave Corning Community College. No matter how far and wide you go, you will always be welcome back here as a proud alumnus of CCC. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to introduce our first student speaker, Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence winner, Madison Cunningham. Madison.
Ooh, a little tall there. Thank you, President Mullaney. All right. Hi there, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying the sun today. We haven't seen it in forever. It's really nice. Yeah, right? Before I begin my formal speech, I would like to pay my respects to all of the lives lost at the hands of COVID-19, police brutality, hate crimes, gun violence, and the list goes on during these hard times in America. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now, to the Board of Trustees, President Mullaney, faculty, administrators, friends, family, and my parents, thank you. Thank you all for your guidance, encouragement, support, and most importantly, never giving up on myself and my fellow graduates here today. I would also like to say a special thank you not only to my professor and my advisor, but my friend, Mr. David Pindell. I think he's over there somewhere around the corner. Thank you for your endless support. I would not be standing up here today if it weren't for you. For those of you who do not know who Dave is, he is not only a professor in the science department, but he is an advocate who encourages everyone to be the best that they can be. Dave, thank you from the bottom of my heart for shaping my experience here at CCC. I will forever be grateful for you. Finally, I would also like to say thank you to my fellow graduates. We made it. I am so beyond proud of each and every one of you. Parents, friends, and families, you should also be extremely proud of your graduates as they have all shined through despite all of that we've been through this year. Congratulations to you all and your families. You did it, and this beautiful day is for you. My name is Madison Cunningham. I am graduating today with my associate's degree in science. I will be continuing my studies at the University of Georgia, where it is 85 degrees and sunny today. Go Bulldogs. After obtaining my bachelor's degree, I plan to attend medical school and one day serve my community as a physician. I am honored to be here today in front of you all as the SUNY Chancellor's Award winner for Student Excellence. I graduated high school at the age of 16, and I hated the idea of coming to a community college. I bought into the stigma that surrounds community college, and I wanted to go off to a big school where I knew I would have lots of fun and meet hundreds of people and make new friends and get a degree with a big school name on it, and most importantly, find myself in thousands of dollars in debt. The one thing I would not have been able to experience is this moment right here. CCC has taught me so many lessons that I will take with me and apply for the rest of my life. There's one piece of advice that I will never forget. During my first semester here, I was in English class, and Professor Daniel Coble, I don't know if he's here either, but shout out to Professor Daniel Coble. He was telling the class how important it is to utilize the resources on campus. In explaining this, he also said, you have to be an advocate for your own education. This is hands down the most important piece of advice that I have received in my time at Corning. First, I began to apply this idea of being my own advocate by attending free tutoring sessions on campus. Next, it was applying for event coordinator, which is actually a funny story. I didn't get the position. Some of my friends were doing the interviews, and I thought I was doing great until they asked me the question, what is your biggest weakness? And I tried so hard to think of something because when you prepare for an interview, you aren't thinking about your weaknesses. You're thinking about what you can say to hype yourself up. So anyway, after I couldn't formulate any kind of reasonable answer, I said, I really struggle with procrastination, but I'm working on it. Which isn't even true. I'm not really a procrastinator. I just couldn't think of anything. But this may have been the worst possible answer that I could come up with, but it did teach me to always have an answer for that question. So please, graduates today, before you go to a job interview, make sure you have an answer for that. Anyway, the idea of being your own advocate can reach further than just your education. Take this to your job, your relationships, your friendships, and wherever you may end up after CCC. Being your own advocate is so incredibly important, especially if you ever find yourself in the situation where you do not have anyone to advocate for you. I'm sure many of us can agree that this past year has been incredibly difficult. Not only have we all adapted to different learning styles, but we have also worried about the safety of our friends and our families. And on top of this, we've worried about all of the crazy things going on in the world aside from the pandemic. If this past year has taught us anything, I think it has taught us all to be an advocate for not only ourselves, but our fellow humans. Because we never know what they might be going through. I always thought that being kind and compassionate was a given, but I've noticed that this isn't true in today's world. So please, I challenge everyone here today to reflect on all of the challenges that you have faced this year and ever, and consider all of the people who stood by you and advocated for you. This could be your parents, your grandparents, your teacher, your boss, or even the stranger who asked you how your day was going. Think about these people and treat everyone how that person treated you. Everyone deserves an advocate, especially those whom we don't realize need it. Another thing I have learned this year is that people tend to be a little bit more inclined to do things if, they're going to have some kind of takeaway from it, which is fine. It's human nature. There's no such thing as true altruism. But But in order to spark some change, allow me to make you a promise. I promise that if you take part in being an advocate, you will create a great future for yourself and for others, which is another bonus. In my case, by advocating for my own education, I was able to make many great connections across campus, become involved, feel confident in myself, and ultimately put forward my best effort. I think it's really important to note that I'm not up here today because I'm some kind of kid genius or because of good grades. I've always had to work hard in school, and it's never come easy to me, although I wish it did. With all of this being said, by putting forth my best effort, I have gained confidence in myself, which has allowed me to advocate for myself and try new things, like the position of student trustee. If you can always put forth your best effort, you will ultimately find success. Although it might be a long road and you might be steered in the wrong direction at times, remember that the end product is worth it. If you use every day to be your own advocate, you will certainly find success. As I look out into the crowd of cars today, I'm reminded that we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different families, different lives, but we all have at least one thing in common. We're all human. With being human comes making mistakes, getting hurt, learning lessons, but do you know what else we'll all do? If we all work together, we will all change the world to create a better tomorrow, which we so desperately need. So please, graduates of 2021, plant trees whose shade you know you may never sit in. Thank you all, and congratulations to CCC's class of 2021. Now get out there and change the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maddie, and congratulations. Now it's my honor to introduce our next student speaker, Chancellor's Award winner for Student Excellence, Cristo Nasto. Cristo.
Thank you, President Mullaney. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CCC Commencement 2021. It is an honor for me to speak with you today and to represent a fantastic group of students that I've had the pleasure to work for the last 2.5 years with. Congratulations, everyone. You deserve all the praise you can get today. Yes, I would love to hear your cheers and applause, but since you can't do that, you can play with your car lights, honk, and that's nice. You all have very nice cars, by the way. I want to start by saying a huge thank you to every single professor and staff member of this college. I know I speak for every student here today when I say that it has been an honor working with all of you. Your desire and pleasure that you show every day is extraordinary. Also, I surely cannot say enough thank you to my amazing family that has supported me every step of the way. I owe most of my success to my mother, who is my main inspiration and the reason why I'm an international student in the first place. Last but not least, thank you to every student and classmate who has been part of this incredible journey. And thank you for my classmates who have been a Google Translate for me during my first 2 semesters. From this introduction, I guess you have figured out that I'm an international student, and even if you weren't paying attention, you can tell by my terrible English accent. I'm a huge fan of motivational quotes, but most of all when they're delivered to people through examples and not just words. Motivational and inspirational quotes have become very common these days, and if you open social media, and I think all of you might have a social media account, you know that. We all get life advice from apparently everyone and anyone who knows how to post something on the internet. From there, we compare ourselves with an illusion, a profile of highlights. But let me express my honest opinion on that. Most of it is a beautiful lie, because life it doesn't consist only on the highlights. I'm saying this because I too want to give an inspiring message for the graduation class of 2021 here at CCC, and I'm going to do that with a very short story. When I decided to start the procedures to become an international student in the summer of 2018, I was very determined and passionate about my studies in the US. One of the main requirements, though, to get accepted at the college as an international in the United States was the English test. It's called TOEFL, and basically you prove your high level of English proficiency. I was very confident and comfortable for this exam, as I only needed 79 points out of 120 to get accepted at CCC. I thought it was a pretty reasonable bar to get. I walked into the exam building fully confident, but 2 weeks after that exam, my confidence suffered a huge blow because I received an email that said I had scored 77 out of 120, so 2 points less than I needed. The day after, I registered to give the exam for a second time after 2 weeks. I did not panic or get depressed because I had no time for any of that, and my next exam was coming up, so I studied some more while I was also working that summer. In my second try, I felt very good. I went in motivated, concentrated again, and the exam lasted 4 hours as usual, and I got out very certain that the first time was just an exception. I did not stress at all waiting for the results because I truly believe that this time it was the time. However, 2 weeks after that, I get back the results and I saw on my phone a number that was the unluckiest in my life, 78. I'm not lying. After getting 77 the first time, now I'd gotten a 78 and all I needed was a 79. Right there I was devastated. I felt extremely powerless, like everyone was against me, but also I felt very angry with myself because I had obviously overestimated my knowledge. At that point, I was thinking of quitting trying to go to the United States and study in Europe instead. Time was running out for me and I had to make a decision because the deadline application was coming close. I contacted CCC to ask if they could accept a 78 instead of a 79, but they told me that rules are rules and that's what I was expecting. So I only had 2 weeks left until the college application deadline, and I decided I'm going to take the exam for the third and last time. I had 7 days until the exam to practice reading, listening, speaking and writing. I quit my job and only focused on studying English for a week, and I wrote around 25 essays for practice and fell asleep listening to learn English while sleeping. If you don't know, this is a 4-hour YouTube video where you listen to random stories narrated in English. But even today, I do not know how falling asleep to English podcasts and stories would help me. Maybe my unconscious self would learn English better. However, what I know is that video had 12 million views, so other people were doing it. And also, I know that third time is a charm. And I want to say, obviously, I passed the exam because I'm here right now. And I passed the exam with 95 points for the third time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for honking, but clearly I didn't care about those 16 extra points. All I cared about was just that one single point, the point that was deciding my future. And thanks to that one point, I am giving this speech in front of all of you. I know we all have to go through failures, and they are what define our characters, where we become stronger, because it does not matter how many times you fall. All you got to do is just get up one time more than falling down. So I also learned that big dreams require motivation, dedication, and very hard work. Another thing I learned is that you shouldn't care about other people's opinion if those people are not affecting you in the right way. Today, everyone has an opinion, as I said before, and that does not mean that we should get affected by every opinion. I remember after I failed for the second time the English exam, a girl from my high school came to me and she was saying that, hey, if you can't pass the English test, which is the easiest part, how are you going to go through an engineering degree? That made me think, of course, and it hurt me, because at the moment I couldn't respond to her. However, I didn't really care about that opinion, and it did not affect me at all. And it didn't affect me because what she didn't know was that I was not afraid to fail for a third time. If you try and invest in something and you know that there is a possibility of failing, it means that you're not afraid to fail. Success stories start right there, at the point where you will dedicate all of your energy, effort, desire, and time, even though you know that there's a possibility of failing. All of you are graduating today, which means that you are not afraid to fail, because you have taken the difficult road of education. And congratulations about that. I want to say that I am very happy for all of you for achieving this important checkpoint in your lives. It has been a difficult journey, full of sacrifices, and we, the COVID student generation, should know that better than anyone else. Everyone has had a different experience, but we all have something in common. We all know what it takes to achieve success. Today, we are all winners in a time of major distraction. We know how to focus in the present, even though the future may be uncertain, and that is a very important attribute that our student generation has. We know how to trust the process. And still, even though we are graduating today, it does not mean that tomorrow is all sorted out. This event today is a victory for all of us, but still a small step that hopefully will lead to bigger things for each of you. I want to congratulate you all again and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Students, families, professors, it was a pleasure working with you all. Together, we have faced challenges that we could not have expected. We believed in ourselves and one another, and together we are achieving our dreams. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christo. Corning Community College is a proud member of the SUNY system, and I would like to take a moment to recognize the 2021 SUNY Chancellor's Awards winners. The Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Adjunct Teaching, Colleen Kaminsky. The Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Professional Service, Jennifer Sellers. The Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Faculty Service, Dr. Christine Atkins. The Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching, Hitesh Radia. And also the Regional Board of Trustees Excellence in Teaching Award, Hitesh Radia. Can we have a round of honking for these winners, please?
I don't know how you follow such inspirational speeches from the students. We do learn every day. The Regional Board of Trustees is pleased to congratulate all the candidates who have worked so diligently for the degrees they will receive and through so many different challenges. I extend special acknowledgement to those who will also earn scholastic honors. Your special efforts enhance SUNY CCC's long-standing reputation for quality education, and we're very proud of you. To all the candidates, remember that commencement is a beginning. We hope your experience at SUNY CCC is the beginning of a lifetime dedicated to learning. Think of today as the first day of the rest of your life. The Regional Board of Trustees is happy to congratulate those faculty members whose concern for our students and whose contributions to the college have been recognized today. They are but a few of the excellent people who help to make ours an outstanding college. At this time, graduate Noah Mather will perform. Here he comes.
Hey everybody, I got a song for you. Give me 1 second. I think we're good. spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps and find I'm a number one, top of the list, king of the hill, a number one. These little town blues are melting away. I'm gonna make a brand new start of it in old New York. And if I can make it there, you know I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York, New York. Thank you so much, and congratulations, everybody.
Thank you, Noah, for that uplifting performance. And I did see a number of you bopping in your car, so good job there. It's my honor to present a very special degree today. For only the third time in its history, SUNY Corning Community College has been approved to award an honorary doctoral degree. The honorary doctoral degree is the highest form of recognition offered by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York to persons of exceptional distinction. This year's recipient is Charles R. Craig. Charles Craig has been a force in the Southern Tier since 1974, when he was hired as a senior chemist at Corning Incorporated, where he served in a variety of technological management positions. Since 1990, he assumed administration and operations management responsibility in support of the company's chief technology officer, has held the chief of staff responsibilities for 5 successive CTOs, and for several years was responsible for the company's world-renowned innovation process practice. After earning his Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry from Dickinson College and completing 4 years of graduate work in analytical chemistry and materials science at the University of Minnesota, Mr. Craig began his career at Corning, Inc. Always an advocate of education, he has provided invaluable support to Dr. Mark Vaughan's Technical Pipeline Program, which provides many community college students with a rigorous 2-year course of study in science and engineering and a position at Corning, Inc. In addition, Mr. Craig lends charitable support to many local organizations that support families in the Southern Tier. He's an active advocate of diversity at Corning, Inc., has served as a sponsor for several affinity groups. He is also active in the Boys and Girls Scouts organizations, as well as the Corning Rotary Club. Mr. Craig serves as the chair of Incubator Works, the organization responsible for the ceramic corridor incubators in the region. He is also a member of the College Council of SUNY Alfred State College and is Corning's trustee representative on Clarkson University's board. He is the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the American Management Association in New York City. For all these accomplishments and more, the State University of New York is pleased to bestow upon Mr. Charles Craig the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Congratulations, Dr. Craig. I would invite Mr. Craig up to the podium to say a few words. I'm sorry, Dr. Craig.
Thank you, Bill, very much. Hello, students, parents, faculty, administration, trustees, leadership of the Corning Community College. I want to express my sincere thanks to CCC Board Chair Nancy Whiteman, former Board Chair Carl Blowers, President William Mullaney, and the SUNY administration for this honor. It is with humble appreciation and pride that I accept this honorary degree from Corning Community College. My wife Trudy and I joined the Corning, New York community 47 years ago, and we became familiar with CCC shortly after we arrived with an invitation to the international dinner held annually at the College Commons. Long friendships and community bonds formed quickly at that dinner as we recognized that CCC was one of the vibrant institutional anchors of this community. The other, of course, being Corning Glassworks, now Corning Incorporated. We arrived 2 years after the flood of 1972 and witnessed the renewal of the Corning, New York region as a wonderful place to live and raise a family while pursuing my career in research and engineering at Corning Glassworks. Our daughter Susie went on to become a Philadelphia attorney, and our son Rob is a manager of early stage marketing at Corning's Sullivan Park Research Center. My long professional association with CCC began many years ago when recruiting employees from the chemical technician program while helping the faculty strengthen that program. We hired many CCC graduates into the Sullivan Park Research Center. So it's been a very productive relationship, and it still is. As President Mullaney mentioned, it still is with the invention of the Technician Pipeline Program by Dr. Mark Vaughn at Corning. Some of the graduates today may be products of that successful program. Now, in a small town setting, for me anyway, deep belief in support of community and regional institutions are vital. With many other citizens, we are pleased to be part of the civic support that ensures that SUNY Corning Community College is a very special place. Finally, a few words to the graduating students. As many have said already, congratulations on achieving a key milestone in your life. Be proud, satisfied with what you have done. Second, use your CCC education as the springboard for your academic and vocational pursuits in the coming years, whatever you do. And third, as Chair Whiteman said, you're just beginning a lifelong journey of learning. As your skills grow and take you in new directions, you will need to keep learning. Finally, going back to Madison's comments, I have a comment here that's similar to her advocacy comment, and that is don't wait for things to happen to you. Be your own advocate. Make things happen for you. Do things that you want to see happen. So don't wait for it to happen. Just make it happen and go for it. And lastly, as you go off to your different careers and locations, wherever you may be and so forth, again, don't forget the community institutions in which you're living and help support them as your careers develop. Graduates, good luck, congratulations, and best wishes to realize your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, Dr. Craig. So are you all ready to get your degrees now? Yeah, okay. Okay. Interim Provost Fred Herbst will join me for the conferring of the degrees.
Will the candidates for Associate in Arts degree please exit your vehicles and stand to be recognized? Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present to you these candidates who have completed the courses of study for the Associate in Arts degree.
By the power vested in me by the Regional Board of Trustees of SUNY Corning Community College, the trustees of the State University of New York, and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer the degree of Associate Arts.
Please hold your applause until all the candidates have been recognized. And candidates, as I call your name, please wave your hand so that you can be recognized. Associate of Arts, Caitlin Beck, William Jones, Amaya Schultes, Sharday Wiggins. Please join your family and friends back in your vehicles, and let's give them a round of honks and applause, please. Will the candidate for certificates please exit their vehicle and stand to be recognized? Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present to you this candidate who has completed the courses of study for certificates.
By the power vested in me by the Regional Board of Trustees of SUNY Corning Community College, the trustees of the State University of New York, and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer their certificates.
Laurel Carey. Please join your family and friends back in your vehicle, and a round of applause, please, for Laurel Carey. Will the candidates for the Associate in Applied Science please exit your vehicles and stand to be recognized?
There we go.
Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present to you these candidates who have completed the courses of study for the Associate in Applied Science degree.
By the power vested in me by the Regional Board of Trustees of SUNY Corning Community College, the trustees of the State University of New York, and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer the Associate of Applied Sciences degree.
Candidates, please wave as your name is called so you can be recognized. Katerina Abate, Miranda Alderson, Caitlin Allen, Hunter Argetsinger, Army Specialist Jennifer All, Audrey Bickle, Jacqueline Blake, Staff Sergeant Stephen Bowes, U.S. Marine Corps, Mackenzie Brewer, Jerome Brooks, Crystal Brown, Megan Brown, Renata Brown, Robin Brown, Emily Burke Hammonds, Melissa Butters, Heather Butts, Lanika Cadet, Gabrielle Kane, Electra Canavino, Skylar Carlson, Becca Chafee, Christy Chandler, Ashley Coleman, Nicole Combs, Janae Conklin, Retired Air Force Master Sergeant Stephen A. Cook, Navaa Crooker, Sydney Crouch, Marissa Clemens, Michelle De Jesus, Ethan DeMuth, Army Specialist Jeffrey Dents, Kira Denini, Kaylee Disbrow, Cole Donnelly, Christy Driscoll, Cindy Durfee, Cassandra Durier, Haley Eggleston, Megan Ellis, Staff Sergeant Thomas Fega, Brittany Falusi, Leslie Falusi, Nicole Ferreira, Megan Finnegan, Michelle Fisher, Bailey Fletcher, Lucretia Frazier, Caitlin Fulton, Natasha Gabriel, Keisha Garrick, Tia Gorgeous, Annika Hadsell, Kaylee Haff, W. Todd Hall, Sabrina Harnden, Dylan Harshberger, Alicia Hayes, Crystal Henderson, Matthew Harold, Parker Hilfiger, Kimberly Hoff, Taylor Holly, Kaylee Horton, Tia Irvin, Luke Jelliff, Andrea Jones, Elizabeth Camus, Nicholas Carey, Natalie Kent, Gabrielle Cayo, Robin Knight, Brianna Knowles, William Labar, Alexis Lewis, Sha Liu, Sean Lloyd, Stephen Long, Haley Lokes, Kamisha Lubin, Courtney Madison, Rachel Maynard, Private First Class Army Danielle McAuliffe, Amelia McCaig, Victoria McDonald, Jamie Merrill, Jacqueline Miner, Lindsay Monroe, Katie Munson, Connor Murphy, Christine Myers, Julia Nash, Jenna Nickerson, Justin Oberick, Kiana Ordway Tilton, Danielle Pine, Michael Phillips, Jessica Plummer, Holly Pouston, Kaylee Petrobowski, Lucas Pratt, Abigail Putney, Hunter Quick, Hannah Rathburn, Chloe Raleigh, Felicia Reed, Damian Roadhouse, Isabella Roberts, Kathleen Robinson, Paige Robinson, Chantel Rudolph, Brianna Runyon, Brian Santulli, Tyler Saxon, Joanna Schwartz, Olivia Seeley, Michelle Semsky, Jose Servin, Trenton Shangraw, Sarah Sheffield, Amanda Sylvia, Nadia Simpson, Katie Simpson, Jacqueline Smith, Valerie Stansfield, Mercedes Sullivan, Spencer Terra, Natalie Taylor, Tanya Terwilliger, Jessica Thomas, Rhiannon Thomasman, Mary Towsley, Megan Truesdale, Madison Updike, Jordan Uppenbrink, Kristen Van Loon, veteran United States Air Force, Casey Weaver, Carly Webster, Megan West, Sarah Wheeler, Kara Wilson, Tristan Winnert, Shannon Woodruff, Amber Yeager, and Justin York. Please join your family and friends back in your vehicles in a round of applause, please. Will the candidates for the Associates in Occupational Studies please exit your vehicles and stand to be recognized? Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present to you these candidates who have completed the courses of study for the Associate in Occupational Studies degree.
By the power vested in me by the Regional Board of Trustees of SUNY Corning Community College, the trustees of the State University of New York, and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, and upon the recommendations of the faculty, I confer the Associate in Occupational Studies degree.
Candidates, please wave as your name is called so you can be recognized. Adam Ferris, Nicholas Freeman, Dylan Horning, Nicholas Lenhart, Crystal Schwartz, and Jonathan Stanbro. Please join your friends and family back in your vehicles and let's have a round of applause. Will the candidates for the Associates in Science please exit your vehicles and stand to be recognized? Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present to you these candidates who have completed the courses of study for the Associate in Science degree.
By the power vested in me by the Regional Board of Trustees of SUNY Corning Community College, the trustees of the State University of New York, and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, and upon the recommendations of the faculty, I confer the Associate in Science degree.
Candidates, please wave as your name is called so you can be recognized. Alicia Akins, Carter Allen, Zachary Allen, Lauren Ball, Trinity Ball, Jacob Barnes, Mackenzie Barrett, Isabel Beecher, Carolyn Bernier, Michaela Blunt, Alyssa Butler, Clarissa Campbell, Samantha Castaneda, Olivia Cesar, Noah Clark, Selena Cruz, Madison Cunningham, Timothy Davis Jr., Sarah Delano, Sydney Dennison, Joseph DiNardo, Courtney Dews, Rain Eddy, Samantha Elkins, Jeremy English, Landon Erickson, Jasmine Fairley, Victoria Fawcett, Rebecca Ferguson, Jacob Freeland, Lori Fulkerson, Denise Ganton, Candice Garcia, Eleanor Gale, Jessica Gerber, Greg Gleason, Connor Goodwin, Paul Grasso, Tabitha Hammond, Preston Harris, Emma Hatch, Taryn Hayes, Tabitha Aber, Aiden Hellreigel, U.S. Navy Logistics Specialist 3rd Class Robert Henderson, Hannah Havland, Typer Hills, Michael Hoffman Bellucci, Abigail Horton, Caleb Horton, Jada Horton, Rachel Howe, Adrian Irvin, Rachel Jackson, Colin Jewell, Nancy Jordan, Kennedy Kiefer, Bryce Jacob Kelly, Brianna Knight, Logan Larrabee, Felicia Lash, Samantha Levine, Timothy Lee, Shane Lehman, Derek Lisi, Catherine Losi, Kendra Mace, Casey Manical, Noah Mather, Mariposa Maxim, Sasha Mayolet, Adrian McBride, Brooke McStay, Nikita Merrick, Melody Millspaw, Zoe Millspaw, Mercedes Morse, Danielle Mustico, Christo Nasto, Mystica Lynn New, Stevie Newton, Tessa Oberther, Veronica Olin, Brittany Parker, Stephanie Petty, Megan Phillips, Emily Pickering, Samuel Polanco, Taylor Pomeroy, Menelik Prosser, Joseph Raimondi, Chantel Reese, Allison Roach, Jordan Rook, Zachary Root, Jacqueline Sanders, Brittany Sanguinedo, Jacob Scott, Desiree Shepard, Giuliano Sidari, Perry Sincock, Ashley M. Smith, Ashley A. Smith, Cameron Stanbro, Marcely Sturmer, Amaya Stratton Stevens, Lauren Thomas, Naval Reserve E4 Tina Tadzia, Mary Townsend, Karis Underwood, Amber Updike, Megan Walters, Dylan Ward, Jacob West, Hannah Weehee, Carolyn Williams, Christina Wilsey, Elana Wood, Desiree Woodruff, Michaela Yee, and Emily Yusko. Please join your family and friends back in your vehicles, and a round of applause, please.
Now that the degrees have been granted and awards have been given, I ask all graduates to shift your tassels from the right side of your cap to the left. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations to all. We hope that as you move forward, you will cherish your time here at Corning Community College and that you will take the lessons learned forward with you. We are continually impressed by the quality of the students at this institution, and we know that you will represent us well. Please remain silent for the benediction by Reverend Gary McCaslin.
May we go now in peace, believing deep in our souls that we are all connected to the stars that fill the night sky, just as we are connected to the birds and the rivers and the plants and the wind and the fish of the sea, and to one another. May we always be reminded of our responsibility to care for our earth so we might be the best ancestors for those yet unborn, and compassionate neighbors for our brothers and sisters for whom we share this beautiful planet. And finally, may the wonder and the miracle of our each day continually overwhelm our senses. Amen.
It is now time to celebrate. I would like to invite the graduates, their families and guests to join me in receiving congratulations and your diploma cover. Each roll will be released by Public Safety and follow in line. One more round of honking for everybody. Congratulations.